Hi, I'm Ben, for those of you who don't already know me, and I chose the movie Chronicle. Chronicle's a 2012 film directed by Josh Trank and written by Max Landis. I chose Chronicle because it takes two trends which were becoming popular at the time, the found footage gimmick and the superhero movie, and it tries to do something different with both of them while creating something unique of its own right. So Chronicle follows the story of three kids, Andrew, Matt, and Steve, who get superpowers, and it explores what would happen if kids got superpowers and weren't necessarily born heroes. While the subject of the movie is superhumans, the movie really tries to focus on the ways in which gaining powers impacts and affects our characters. The main character, Andrew, is by far the most impacted by his powers. Andrew came from a background of neglect, abuse, and bullying, and as such, he sees the pain that the world has inflicted upon him, and he uses his newfound power to lash out at the world. Now, the scene I chose was from the beginning of the movie, and it focuses on the boys exploring their newfound superpowers for the first time. In the scene, the characters are in a supermarket and essentially just pulling pranks with their new powers. And what makes it interesting is the ways in which tension is built and traditional camera angles are used while still maintaining the found footage gimmick. Throughout the first scene, the handheld camera is maintained, and the camera does very different things depending on which of the three characters is supposedly holding it. In this shot, the camera is very, very shaky. That's because it's held by Max, who is not experienced in holding the camera. Additionally, it's held below eye level, which creates a claustrophobic feeling. That claustrophobic feeling is exacerbated by the fact that the camera is constantly changing. We aren't going to see a single shot going for more than 20 seconds. Here, the camera is above eye level. This is to convey power. In this scene, we see as Matt uses his power to push this guy over. And although the film plays it off as comical, it's the first time the audience sees that their powers can be used for violent purposes. Here, the camera's in the hands of the character Steve, who, once again, is not experienced with the camera. He is holding it, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. We see Andrew stab Matt to show that the powers can protect them. The shot is narrow. It's very tight on the two characters, and this creates a claustrophobic sense. We're worried Matt will get hurt. Because Steve is holding the camera, it wanders off in a certain direction. Uh, and once again, that just shows the differences in who's filming, how it's going to impact it. Here, the camera's finally in the hands of Andrew, the most experienced of the three characters in terms of filming. As we see, although there's some slight shakiness, it is much less prominent, it is much less pronounced than when we saw Matt or Steve holding the camera. So as we have Andrew recording, we see Steve move a car. This is done to show how powerful the psychic powers can be, and as we see, the camera zooms slightly, just slightly closer to Steve, making him take up more of a shot as he uses his powers, before pulling back. This is done for the same reason any traditional camera work would be done. It builds the tone of the movie. However, it's done in a way that's subtle enough not to distract from the found footage theme. It never feels like it's out of possibility for the found footage.